Thank you so much for staying with us. The Nigerian senior women's basketball team did not get up to a winning start in their opening FIBA game, and Kayode will tell us the figures in sports news.
Thank you, Melinda. Welcome to Sports News. Nigeria's senior women's basketball team, the D Tigers, have lost their opening World Cup match 86 to 68 points against Australia in Spain. The first quarter ended 24-17 in favor of the Australians, who dominated proceedings through the brilliance of Liz Cambage. Nigeria improved in the second quarter and narrowly lost 18-14 going into the half-time break. Now, D Tigers turned up the heat to win the third quarter 23-21, restricting the Australian team from executing their counterattacks. The D Tigers fell 23-14 in the fourth quarter, and that sealed victory for the Australians. With 21 points, power forward Evelyn Okato emerged top performer for D Tigers, and Nigeria will play Turkey on Sunday in their second group match. To the English Premier League now, Burnley moved off the foot of the table with a clinical first win of the season over AFC Bournemouth. Algerian international Riyad Mahrez scored twice as champions Manchester City strolled to an emphatic win at Cardiff City. Goals from Kelechi Iheanacho, James Maddison and Jamie Vardy saw Leicester City end a run of 3 consecutive defeats. Now leaders, Liverpool won a 7th straight match from the start of the season for the first time by easing past Southampton 3-0 at Anfield. Yao Moutinho, a superb strike, and Wolverhampton Wanderers a 1-0 draw at Manchester United. To boxing now, Anthony Joshua has beaten Alexander Povetkin to retain his WBA, IBF and WBO World Heavyweight titles. The Nigeria-born Briton knocked down the Russian in 7th round to remain unbeaten. Now Joshua has won his 22nd professional fight and earned 21 knockouts. That's all on Sports News. Melinda.
Many thanks, Kayode. Mali is marking her 58th independence from France. The West African country has suffered drought, rebellions, a coup, and many years of military dictatorship under democratic elections in 1992. President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta, who was re-elected into office last month, promised to unify the country. However, not everyone is buying that. Some protesters have taken to the streets to vent their anger.
On the eve of Mali's Independence Day, police fired tear gas in parts of the capital to disperse anti-government protesters. The demonstration was called by civil society groups who opposed the re-election of President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta last month. Opposition leader Soumaïla Cissé, who lost to Keïta, claims the election to be fraudulent and the result of widespread vote rigging. President Keïta was sworn in on September the 4th after winning a landslide re-election, despite escalating attacks by Islamist militants and clashes between herders and pastoralists that have killed hundreds of civilians this year.
We are not just marching against the election of the President of the Republic, but also to condemn the farcical festivities around Independence Day celebrations. The President wants to celebrate his victory at the same time as national independence, and that is not normal. Our plan was to have a caravan and sleep at the Labour Exchange building and rally.
Mali has been in turmoil since Tuareg rebels and loosely allied Islamists took over the desert north in 2012. French forces intervened the following year to beat back the militants, but they have since regrouped. However, France has kept about 4,500 troops in the region as part of the counter-terrorism operations. French officials also acknowledge Paris is likely to remain in the zone area for the next decade. Peace accords from 2015 between the central government and Tuareg rebels in the north are yet to be implemented, and French officials have become increasingly impatient, fearing President Keita may delay further ahead of legislative elections in November and December.
Iran has accused U.S.-backed Gulf states of being behind the deadly attack on the military parade of Revolutionary Guards and officials in Ayaz this morning. At least 25 people were killed, including a child, while several others were injured. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei says puppets of the United States were trying to create insecurity in Iran, though the country has not provided any evidence of foreign coalition. It has vowed to retaliate. In the United States, Deputy Attorney General Rosenstein has denied a report that he discussed invoking a constitutional clause to oust President Donald Trump. America's second most senior law official says the allegations is inaccurate and factually incorrect. The New York Times, citing anonymous sources, also said Mr. Rosenstein had suggested secretly recording Mr. Trump to expose chaos in the White House. However, he's reported to have made the sarcastic remarks after Mr. Trump fired the FBI director last year. Meanwhile, the president told a rally in Missouri on Friday evening that there was a lingering stench about to be exposed at the U.S. Justice Department. And the main news again. Voters in Osun State today trooped out to choose their next governor in an election that has been described as peaceful. And while the election was ongoing, police arrested 3 people for alleged vote buying and selling. Also today, the tussle over the ownership of the Labour Party pitched the NLC president, Ayuba Waba, against the party's national chairman, Abdulsalami Abdulkadri, as the party prepares for the 2019 general elections. And at least 25 people were killed today after an attack on a military parade in Iran. State leaders have accused U.S.-backed Gulf states of being behind the incident. That's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Melinda Akinwami.